Whenever you are injured by a fall, shock, or scrape, it's actually the cells in your body that undergo the damage. Sure, you feel some pain, but the real damage occurs on a cellular level. That's why this lesson will aim to explore the basics of some different kinds of cellular injury, and how those injuries may impact the rest of your body in severe cases. One very common way someone can get injured is when they experience blunt force trauma. This is a type of non-penetrating injury that occurs from something like a fall, a punch to the gut, or being hit by a car. You can imagine that just like the fact that blunt force trauma may visibly crush your hand, so too does it physically crush the cells that make up your body. It literally, physically squishes those cells. This can create very serious problems beyond the place where the actual injury occurs. I'll give you an interesting and specific example. In severe cases of blunt force trauma, like a car accident, your kidneys can actually be damaged even if they weren't damaged by the initial trauma itself. Here's how. A serious injury can crush the cells that make up your muscles. When skeletal muscle cells are injured, something known as rhabdomyolysis will occur. Rhabdomyolysis is the breakdown of skeletal muscle cells due to injury or disease. The problem is that those muscles are high in a protein called myoglobin. When lots of myoglobin is released as a result of a muscle cell's injury, it enters into the bloodstream. The problem is that myoglobin is toxic to your kidneys, the organs that filter your blood. If enough kidney damage occurs as a result of massive myoglobin release, a person may enter into kidney failure and die. Patients with myoglobin in the urine, a condition called myoglobinuria, have urine that is similar in color to dark cola. This color can be one way to help diagnose the condition. In addition to traumatic injuries, temperature extremes can also be as damaging to cells. Extremely high temperature will damage your cells in many ways. Think of your cell as an egg. If you were to stick a raw egg into a microwave for long enough in order to heat it up, it would burst. Similarly, high temperatures cause the body's cells to burst or lyse. Furthermore, high temperatures will denature the proteins and fats that make up our cells. Our cells are surrounded by a fatty membrane. If you were to take some fat in the form of butter and heat it up, it would melt. Well, the protective fatty membrane of our cells, called a lipid bilayer, would melt under high temperatures as well. If you remove the protective membrane, the cell cannot control its chemical reactions very well and dies as a result. As if quickly bursting open or slowly dissolving wasn't bad enough, high temperature also denatures or degrades important proteins in our cells. Some of these proteins are found within the lipid bilayer. Others are found in the cellular content surrounded by this cell membrane. High temperature will essentially cook these proteins like high temperature would cook the protein in a steak. This cooking will cause cellular proteins to dysfunction. Their dysfunction means the cell cannot control its chemical and energetic reactions, resulting in its death. On the flip side, extremely cold temperatures are no better. A lot of a cell's content is water. If you've ever placed a soda can or beer bottle into a freezer and left it there, it probably burst open. That's because water expands as a result of extreme cold and forms crystals. So it's not that hard to imagine that if your cells were to find themselves in a very cold state, such as hypothermia, they would burst open and die as a result of the water expansion and the sharp crystals poking holes into their cell membrane. The cold also constricts the blood vessels located near the ends and surfaces of your body. This constriction leads to a decreased flow of blood to an area. A decreased flow of blood means less oxygen is being delivered to the cells that make up a tissue. If those cells cannot receive oxygen, they cannot produce energy to stay alive. Therefore, cold temperature may result in the death of body tissue, also known as gangrene. Cellular injury can also occur as a result of radiation. For this part, you must recall how I said that cells are mainly composed of water. When a type of radiation known as ionizing radiation passes through water, it produces free radicals. Free radicals are atoms with unpaired electrons that basically react with anything in their path. This means that cellular structures important to a cell's survival are bombarded with tiny little bombs, the free radicals. These little bombs destroy or disrupt the cell's processes, and you better believe it, in the long run will cause its death. As you can clearly tell, there are plenty of ways by which a cell can become injured and die. Sometimes one little cell dies and you don't even notice. In more serious cases, a lot of cells die simultaneously and may ultimately cause you to die as well. Well, we went over traumatic, temperature, and radiation-based causes of cellular injury. That's just the tip of the iceberg. But don't forget the important terms we did hit upon. Injuries to our body's muscles may result in rhabdomyolysis, or the breakdown of skeletal muscles due to injury or disease, which will lead to the accumulation of myoglobin in the urine, a condition called myoglobinuria. This myoglobinuria is toxic to kidneys and may result in kidney failure. Extremely cold temperatures may result in the restriction of blood flow and, by extension, oxygen to cells and tissues, resulting in their death. Therefore, cold temperatures may result in the death of body tissue, also known as gangrene. Finally, ionizing radiation may damage our body as well. As ionizing radiation passes through the water content of our cells, it produces free radicals. Free radicals are atoms with unpaired electrons that basically react with anything in their path. Their reaction with important cellular structures results in a cell's injury or death.